Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch. Sugar gel flakes and berry flavor.
Well, well, Dr. Fenhill. It's not often I see you on this side of sickbay.
I make it a point not to get shot, and when I do, I can usually take care of the
It'd be nice to have you in here patching people up, not just
I respect what you're doing here, but you know I'm not ready to settle down. It's not you, it's me.
Have it your way. Now, about your... Were I a gambling woman? I'd wager you're responsible for my mechanical safe return. I can't thank you...
Rizzo's Spectrum Vodka.
Something on your... I'm a Not much else to know, Captain. I like long walks on the promenade and the smell of Spacer's Corona. I make a mean zero-G cocktail and I've got a meaner... Well, my blood... That about... Oh, come on. That's stuff... Look, the thing I've learned... I'm all for... Nope.
Groundbreaker's safe from melting to bits now. Lots of good people. Oh, thanks, Captain. I'm gonna put these someplace safe. And then for dessert, there's a thing called, sweetheart cake. It's made with... There's gotta be some place in Stellar Bay that can bake a casserole. And I heard tell there's a Rizzo's town near there called Cascadia, what specializes in sweets. Thanks, Captain.
You weren't followed, were you? Sure is. Welcome aboard, contractor. One of my guys in Stellar Bay has a lead on some high... We arranged a drop at the Saltuna warehouse's look. When the board pulled out of Monarch, they buried or sealed anything they couldn't carry. Apparently, one of Catherine's teams uncovered an abandoned lab. Now, get going. One last thing. When you're on the job, keep a pair of eyes on the back of your head. Could be. You'll do fine.
I ain't worried if you aren't, Captain. Honest. We're not gonna have to hurt nobody, are we? I hope his fancy...
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again.
Young Millstone, you look pensive.
I don't know what that means, but I've been thinking, it ain't easy carrying a torch for the Rangers.
I understand. The Rangers' victories are your victories. Their defeats are likewise crushing.
You serious? Wow, Max. Never expected you to understand.
This may come as a surprise to you, Felix, but I understand what it is to be a fan.
That's so. You know something? Maybe I was wrong about you.
To be a fan is to cultivate a mental disorder. You're living vicariously through a tossball team.
Nah, I was right the first time. You're a git, Max.
Good to see you, boss.
Something vex...
Something on your... You serious? I thought we were getting along just fine.
We are now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain. No blockade is a match for my piloting skills.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in. Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar... Wait! Don't go just yet. I've been practicing for this. Here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's purple berry... Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell... But that's all outside. Oh, sure. It makes Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going and the sulfur smell. Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say. Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased. Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a... I got this Rizzo's Rangers tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment. Signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's coming? That's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest tossball hackers.
I wonder if he's kin. Dad had family that worked for Rizzo's. I never got to meet them.
Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. Oh, you're real funny. Guess I don't feel so bad for missing what goes on. Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
You don't look like Sublight. Must be freelance.
You don't look like Sublight. Must be freelance.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's getting so I can't tell the... Don't interrupt, it's rude. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. Shit, I don't know. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Or... Name's Nyoka. I'm the best big game hunter.
You're also the loudest big game hunter on the planet.
Shut the fuck. Fair point. I deserve it, though.
My dad always kept his firearms and liquors in different lockers. Said it wasn't safe to mix them.
Out here, if you ain't a little buzzed, you're liable to notice the stench of life. If you think this is drunk, I gotta, sit. Partake. Buy me a drink. Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my... Oh, you want information for nothing? Very well. I am no match for your Go south. Along the road, not the river. Look for the mountain with devil horns. And what? You know it'd really be safer if I went with you. Outstanding! I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about. Well, they work.
Watch your step if you venture outside the walls.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Well, new business turns up at... Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only I take it this... Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of... I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our... Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather...
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most...
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extreme...
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite the route. I'll need to gather some supplemental materials, but I mustn't get ahead of myself.
You do tend to do that.
The Bolt 52 will be in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part... these days. Do be careful. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Fine. Anyway. Then it's good that I... I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1. Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to...
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their loss, our leadership at the time certainly wanted to. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data...
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community...
Like that's what you saw in Edgewater? Come on. People look out for themselves.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway both. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new... No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2, along with everyone else. In a manner of speaking, many of us stayed behind, in an act of quiet but firm defiance.
Must have pissed off some real big suit.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve. I moved forward with our planned reforms as well as... Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't think I realized how far they'd stoop. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules. I do think there's something useful in a... Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach...
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means... I'm not a man to put pride before... If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part...
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread... It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location...
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the...
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. What can I do for... I see. And was his delivery... Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for... Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. You'd head south along the road and look for a mountain to the west. But if you and...
If you can keep her sober.
Well, well. The only new folk I ever see in town are sublight...
What can I get you? All sales are... Do your part. What can... If you don't...
Help! Someone's been killed! I think I'm gonna be sick. I clean the apartments while everyone's at work. I've seen all sorts. If you're going into the apartments, do not go in. Now, if you'll...
Oh, sorry. Just spooked me, was all.
Not much I can do for this guy.
Keep him quiet, Cap.
Whatever you do, don't mention tossball to Isaac. You'll never hear the end of it.
You know, I haven't seen him in a while.
An hour-long rant about mostly calm.
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that. You again! You again!